Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating and air, restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, August 3rd. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi, and we begin tonight with some breaking news. A teenage girl was just sentenced for her part in an attack on a black girl in Lakeside last April. She had been charged with assault and a hate crime. KPBS reporter Kitty Alvarado is live at the courthouse in Kearney Mesa with the latest. Kitty.
That's right, Maya, and we just heard that sentence come down. The judge ultimately sentencing her to urban camp for 120 days. Now, both sides had really compelling arguments. As we sat there, there was not an empty seat in that courthouse. Most of those seats were taken up by the victim, her family, and her supporters. And the defendant, well, just her father and stepmother were there. Her mother and her sister were on the phone. She herself was there via Zoom because of some sort of confinement wherever she was. There was very little details. As you know, it's very strict and very little information is given out just because she is 15 years old, something we all do have to keep in mind. But there was a lot of emotions there, and the DA side said that this defendant had to be given the maximum sentence, which was 2 years, because of the seriousness of this hate crime, because what this defendant ultimately did was cause a chain of events that caused all of this to happen and ultimately caused so much trauma to this victim, not to just the victim, but the victim's family and also to the community. Now, the other side, well, they said that they wanted her released immediately, and they wanted her to be released so that they could take her to a special program where she could be given psychological help from trauma she had suffered in the past. But I can tell you that ultimately the judge said that ultimately she didn't think that she was ready to be released, that she needed to be confined and she needed to serve 120 more days, and also said that she could not own any weapons, any guns until the age of 30. So obviously she saw something in those records, in that evaluation, that she felt strongly enough to where she felt that that was also necessary. Now, the family and friends of the victim, well, they're not very happy with that sentence at all. And joining me is Tasha Williamson, and she's going to tell us why. She has been supportive of the family and been with the family throughout this entire ordeal. You are a social justice advocate and president of Exhaling Justice. Tell me why you think and why the family believes that this just isn't enough.
Yeah, we feel that this is not justice. 120 days, it's up to 120 days, so she can be released whenever probation wants her to be released. She does not have to be in confinement for the total 120 days. This family is still dealing with the injustice that happened to the mother, why this young woman was here, and to her daughter, who was mentioned in court. This sends a message that hate crimes are acceptable when it's black people, when it's our black children, when it's our black women, when it's our black men. And the one thing that I want to say is that we as black people have to start learning how to defend ourselves because this is unacceptable. Her wounds have not been healed in 120 days. Her mental victimization for the victim and her mother have not healed mentally in 120 days. This 15-year-old, the way they've been talking about her in court, has been thrown away from family to family to family. What do they think is going to happen next?
Thank you so much, Tasha. And again, it just seems like the family is just not happy. They also say that justice will not be served until other family members are brought to justice as well. And again, 120 days in urban camp. That is the sentence. Reporting live from Kearney Mesa, Kitty Alvarado, back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that reporting, Kitty. San Diego State football is about to embark on its 100th season, but allegations of rape by football players are casting a shadow over the program. Today, the school's head coach addressed the allegations just as fall camp starts. KPBS reporter Alexander Nguyen has the story.
Before I get started with some updates and all that, I want to make a statement regarding the off-campus incident.
Aztec football coach Brady Hoke started the fall camp news conference by tackling the rape accusations against his players. He says the program will continue to assist with the investigation in any way they can.
Being a father myself and joined by others on the staff, we will not tolerate this type of alleged behavior within our football program.
The attack happened at an off-campus house party last October. He says police have yet to confirm the name of the suspected players involved, but that
we are committed to hold accountable students found to have violated the very university policies.
Because of the active investigation, Hoke says he cannot comment further on the matter. Dan Gillian is the victim's attorney. He says the brazenness of the attack shows that players have gotten away with something like this before.
The fact that they were not investigated, not contacted by SDSU and told to stay away from her and they'd be watched, there's no reason why they stopped.
SDSU said it was asked not to start its own investigation until now because it could have interfered with the criminal investigation. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
And we want to note that KPBS is a service of San Diego State University. An Omicron-specific COVID vaccine could be here as soon as next month, but that doesn't mean that you should wait if you haven't already been vaccinated or boosted. KPBS health reporter Matt Hoffman explains why.
The Biden administration is preparing for Omicron-specific boosters to target the more infectious BA.5 variant. In San Diego County, it's the dominant variant, accounting for more than 80% of cases. The federal government is purchasing some 66 million doses of Moderna's variant-specific booster. But some are saying if you have not been vaccinated or boosted, you might not want to wait for them.
We don't know when the BA.5 vaccine, which is going to be updated, supposed to be available in September. I think that's optimistic, probably more like October, November. We don't know if that's going to work significantly better than the original vaccine. Hopefully it will.
Dr. Eric Topol is the director of the Scripps Research Translational Institute in La Jolla. He's hoping to soon see developments on a pan-coronavirus vaccine that would target all variants. He'd also like to see eligibility for second booster doses expanded to those below 50 years old.
I'm concerned because we have so many boosters that are going to be discarded. Why not use them? Particularly, we had a big study this week for the benefit in healthcare workers.
San Diego County data shows 58% of those eligible for boosters have actually gotten them. The new school year is right around the corner, with many schools starting up in August. Topol is concerned about the low vaccination rate among kids. Here's the local breakdown. 85% of 12 to 17-year-olds are vaccinated, but it's just 46% in kids 5 to 11, and only 6% of kids 4 and under are vaccinated.
So here we have these great vaccines that help protect children and, all the people in schools and their parents and families and their whole networks, and we're not using them. And that's how we can really keep kids safe, keep everybody safe. But our use of the vaccines in young children, age 11 and all the way down to 6 months, is just desperately low. I hope we can get on that.
While the federal government is purchasing Omicron-specific vaccines for the fall and winter, they will still need FDA authorization and CDC approval before anyone can use them. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
This summer, inflation has raised prices on just about everything, including school textbooks. But as KPBS education reporter MG Perez shows us, many San Diego community college students are getting some relief.
1, 2, and 3. It's a picture-perfect moment with a ceremonial check of $975,000 in federal funding.
We know what our communities need.
San Diego Congressman Scott Peters delivered the news and the money that will be used to provide some low-cost and, more significantly, plenty of no-cost textbooks to 60,000 community students in his 52nd district. That includes Miramar College and City and Mesa colleges, too.
Few things infuriate students as much as the high cost of textbooks and other educational materials.
It's not that hardcover textbooks are going away. Workers here at the Miramar College bookstore are still stocking shelves. It's that the U.S. Congress has provided money in the 2022 fiscal budget to fund community projects helping people who need it most. That includes students like Emily Smith, who was on a Miramar College task force that worked to get the congressman's attention and the grant money.
When you have zero-cost textbooks in a classroom, it just makes that accessibility to education just so much more affordable, and you can go back to college easier. You can continue in college easier, and then you can graduate easier.
Investments like the one we celebrate today help provide a better trained workforce for San Diego's future. And I have to point out that that's extremely important in this time of higher inflation, because one of the drivers of the inflation is the fact that we can't get people to fill these jobs.
Students will be back on campus in a couple of weeks. Right now, many of them are still trying to figure out their finances for the fall semester. What we know is that on average, they will pay up to $1,200 for textbooks alone. That's more than their tuition. The federal grant will pay to create hundreds more classes that use free textbooks and online resources. The San Diego Community College District estimates that students on the 3 campuses in the 52nd District will save $3 million combined in the next school year. MG Perez, KPBS News.
The Padres' newest player made his first appearance at Petco Park today. As KPBS reporter Melissa May shows us, the addition of All-Star Juan Soto is a home run for the local economy.
I just hear he's 75 and Sony every day. So I just got to get to know a little bit more about the city and see how it goes.
Soto found out he was officially a Padre Tuesday afternoon and is slated to play in tonight's game against the Colorado Rockies.
It's a great feeling. It's a new vibe. It's a new start for me. This year, it's just a new start, new feeling to go out there and give more that I have.
Soto rips one high in the air.
Padres president of baseball operations and GM A.J. Preller told a story about Soto training during the 2019 offseason at Point Loma Nazarene University and his constant pursuit of being the best that really resonated with him and his staff.
If we get a chance to ever acquire somebody like Juan, that's the type of guy we want in the middle of our lineup and leading our organizations.
Soto will not only influence how other teams pitch to the Padres, but he can also have an influence on the downtown economy as well.
I think it's great for the whole city just to increase profits for all the businesses around here. I feel like in the summertime, this is kind of the life of the city. We're a baseball city, and it's nice to see all the fans come down and support all the businesses and just be a part of it.
Anna DeCipio is the bar manager at Blind Burrow and knows business is better during a Padres home game.
Significantly higher on a game day. I mean, there's a line out the door. We sell so much. Non-game day is much more chill. It depends on if there's conventions in town, if there's a concert or what, but if there's nothing going on, pretty quiet. And then a home game day, just totally crazy.
Fernando, a high fly ball to deep left.
DeCipio said that one player can really boost business.
It will be huge. Like when we got to Tatis, we saw a big increase in business. And I think the better the Padres are, the bigger crowds we see here. And I think everyone's really excited to have that all-star here.
According to the San Diego Union Tribune, what was projected to be a crowd around 35,000 for tonight's game is now expected to be a sellout. Melissa May, KPBS News.
Legendary announcer Vin Scully, known as the voice of the LA Dodgers, has died.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. Pull up a chair as the Dodgers have finally come home. Rockies won.
And Scully broadcast Dodger games from 1950 when the team was still in Brooklyn through his retirement in 2016. The team called him an icon, saying he chronicled their glory from Jackie Robinson to Sandy Koufax, Kirk Gibson, and Clayton Kershaw. The Padres tweeted their condolences, calling Scully a true gentleman and the greatest storyteller to ever sit behind a mic. Vin Scully was 94 years old. Nearly 100 million people are under heat advisory over the next 3 days from the southern plains to the northeast. Heat advisories took effect today in areas of eastern Kentucky recovering from devastating floods. Temperatures could approach 100 degrees and are expected to be made worse by lingering power outages. Temperatures are expected to return closer to average by Friday.
Here's a look at our weather headlines. Well, it looks like some moisture will be surging across Southern California during the day on Thursday. We'll see more clouds, but chances are the showers and thunderstorms that do erupt will stay in the mountains. Surf will stay a bit hazardous, compliments of erstwhile Hurricane Frank. And we'll see a little bit of drying coming into Friday and Saturday before the next surge of moisture comes back at us Sunday into Monday. We go to the water vapor loop, see some of this monsoon moisture off to our east. This spin you see right here, this was once Frank, and that's helping to keep the surf up here, so some hazardous swimming conditions. That continues right through Thursday. Overnight tonight, we'll just see some patchy clouds. Mild night, our low right around 70 degrees. And as we take a look at temperatures, we'll see a low of 65 in Escondido, Ramona 66. The moisture working its way into the mountains. There could be a storm on the prowl here around Mount Laguna. As we take a look at temperatures for tomorrow, we'll see upper 70s right along the coast. So it'll be a nice warm day. Inland sections up to 90, Ramona and El Cajon. And there in the mountains, that moisture around, could be a few more thunderstorms popping on up. You show you that future cast. These little green blobs indicate the potential for a shower or thunderstorm. Notice the moisture working its way westward. Take a look ahead. Well, after our surge of moisture on Thursday, it'll be drier Friday into Saturday, but then Sunday, the next surge of moisture comes back at us with chances for some showers and storms starting to go up again Sunday into Monday. So looking at our temperatures along the coast, it'll stay warm, a little bit humid, that moisture coming in. Inland sections, sunshine mixed with clouds, mid upper 80s. And as we take you into the mountains, we'll see the risk for a shower or thunderstorm Thursday and again by Sunday and Monday. And in the deserts, we'll see a few storms around Sunday and Monday. And for KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Mark Biancuso.
Most students are heading into the new school year with an optional mask policy. According to a data company, about 98% of the top 500 kindergarten through 12th grade schools do not require facial coverings. However, the School Superintendents Association says policies could change in some areas where COVID-19 cases escalate. The CDC is recommending universal indoor masking for schools and early education programs in locations with a high COVID-19 community level. Right now, nearly 46% of U.S. counties fall in that category, including San Diego County. Another virus is causing concern as a new school year gets underway. According to the CDC, there are more than 6,600 probable or confirmed cases of monkeypox across the country. It spreads through close contact, and some worry it could spread in classrooms. Mandy Gaither has more on what health experts say should be done now to protect students.
Across the U.S., cases of monkeypox continue to climb. Now a concern over the virus in schools.
Monkeypox transmits when people are in close personal contact. And kids in small classrooms, particularly with bad ventilation, as many classrooms are at risk.
The CDC says monkeypox is spread through close personal, often skin-to-skin contact, which includes direct physical touch with rash, scabs, or body fluids from someone infected, through mucus, and by touching objects or fabrics that someone with the virus has used.
There is a risk that this is carried in what's called fomites, which are inanimate objects. Toilet seats, if you want to say that, but basically bedding, sheets, things like that.
Health experts say schools, districts, as well as colleges and universities should plan now on what to do about monkeypox and keep cleanliness a top priority.
Chairs and desks need to be cleaned. I don't see how you're going to prevent kids from touching each other. So that is a big question. I unfortunately don't have an answer.
The CDC says scientists are still studying if the virus can be spread when someone has no symptoms, how often the virus is spread through respiratory droplets, or if a person with monkeypox symptoms might be more likely to spread the virus that way. They're also looking into whether the virus spreads through things like urine or feces. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, what a vote to preserve abortion rights in Kansas signals for the rest of the nation. Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
If you drive on the 805, you'll soon see signs encouraging you to visit the Convoy Asian Cultural District. An unveiling ceremony was held this morning for the 6 new freeway signs that will be installed next week. The Convoy District is a neighborhood that spans 1,600 acres and is home to more than 1,500 restaurants, shops, and businesses. More than $31,000 was raised through donations to pay for the signs.
Idea of having freeway signage is really important. 805, there's a lot of folks that drive the 805. Some people sit on the 805. We don't like that exactly, right? But when you're out there, we want to make sure that people aren't zooming past unaware of the gem that is the Convoy District.
The new freeway signs will be installed beginning next week along the 805 north and south exit ramps from Claremont Mesa Boulevard and Balboa Avenue. Tiki Oasis is back at Town and Country Resort. For more than 2 decades, the convention has drawn people from all over the globe to celebrate Tiki culture and escape the real world. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando previews the event that kicks off tonight.
Tiki Oasis is 5 nights and 4 days of escape from reality.
There's nothing too serious at Tiki Oasis, and I think that we've had a few serious years, so it's really nice to kind of kick back with your friends, have a few drinks.
I love sharing drinks with people. We are going to be making a riff on the classic Mai Tai. We're going to be doing the Mayan Tai, which is a riff for Kopali. Kopali rum is from Belize. They're one of our sponsors this year. We're going to go with a full ounce of our Kopali white rum. Let's just say we like the alcohol to shine in it. So we're going to do another ounce of the Kopali barrel rested rum. You're going to shake it on up, pour right into a bucket glass. We are going to slap that mint, and there you go.
All right.
There's the Mayan Tai.
Okay, that's perfect for a hot, humid day.
Like today. Do we love it? We love it.
Fittingly, Dottie DeVille is co-hosting the bartender battle.
So we had, I believe, 14 people that did the prelims, and we narrowed it down to 4 people, 4 different bartenders. They're going to make their signature drink, whatever they made in the prelims that got them through to the finals.
Then co-host Sassy Stiletto gets to go Iron Chef, Tiki style.
She is going to rip open a bag where we're going to display the secret ingredient where they have to battle it out, and they have, I believe, 10 minutes to battle it out and make a cocktail for all 6 judges.
Bartenders get points for creativity, taste, and the story behind their cocktail. That's because backstories are important. They can provide insight into how people got into Tiki culture.
I grew up in Buffalo, which is probably the least tropical place in America. And my grandparents met in the Philippines. So I heard all these stories about what was then called the Orient and saw pictures.
Chris Krause also saw spy shows and movies that introduced him to the Tiki-adjacent world of the fez.
So a fez is a round felt cap that doesn't have a brim. This is the typical Shriner fez. It's red or burgundy. I picked this one because it says Oasis. And they're exotic in that Hollywood used it as shorthand whenever they wanted to present a different locale in the old movies.
Krause will be doing a seminar all about the history of the fez.
The first president of Turkey, when the Ottoman Empire was abolished, he outlawed the fez and actually made it punishable by the death penalty to have a fez.
But fezzes are welcome at Tiki Oasis, as are immaculate vintage outfits and perfectly coiffed hair.
Everyone puts a lot of attention and detail to their outfits. Everyone always looks very good.
Tiki Oasis is just a place where you're going to see a lot of other people that are doing the same thing. So instead of being the person that stands out in a room, you're in a room of people that are all standing out. And the great thing about Tiki Oasis is that everyone's happy and cheers on other people in their outfits and loves them and notices it. New sunglasses, new hat, whatever.
And that whatever now includes dogs.
Before one of the Tiki Oasis events a few years ago, I took a picture of Luca with this orange suitcase with a couple of her Hawaiian shirts in it, and I posted it on the Tiki Oasis Facebook page and said, Luca's packed and ready to go. And it got hundreds of likes. So the Pooch Parade is it's a chance for everybody who brings their dogs to the event to show off their dogs and their doggies' outfits.
In addition to the Pooch Parade, Tiki Oasis offers dancing, live music, an art show, tropical cocktails, and a marketplace of more than 150 artists, including Jatiki, who does surfboard carving.
I went there the first time as a hair model, thinking that I was just going to drop in and drop out. That was 11 years ago, and I've been every year since. I'm pretty sure you'll get addicted. You'll be overwhelmed. It'll be amazing, so check it out.
Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
And here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. Goats are helping reduce our region's fire risk just by doing what comes naturally, and that's eating. On Morning Edition, who's putting animals to work clearing brush? And on Midday Edition, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is stopping by to talk about everything from housing and homelessness to the city's recently updated climate action plan. And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating and air, restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.